Welcome to Berklee Online Live. This is the debut of our songwriting series. I'm Pat Healy, senior writer and editor for Berklee Online, the online extension school of Berklee College of Music. Join us for a class. And this gentleman behind me right here is none other than George Clinton. He has been writing, recording, and revolutionizing music for 6 decades. With his bands Parliament and Funkadelic, he has produced 40 hit singles, and that's not even counting the samples. He is one of the most sampled artists of all time, with over 2,000 samples of his music being used. And you can ask him questions by going onto social media with the hashtag Berklee Online Live. And he is also a 2012 honorary doctorate recipient from Berklee College of Music. So I'm going to strap on the headphones and chat with Dr. Funkenstein. Hello, George.
Hey, what up?
How are you?
How you doing?
Pretty good.
I've been defleed, de-ticked. I got my rabies shot, and I'm ready to bury the bone.
Awesome. So tell me a little bit about, I mentioned that you're one of the most sampled artists of all time. And in your book you talk about the artists who sampled you, but what was the first awareness you had of people sampling your music?
The first awareness I had was De La Soul, Me, Myself, and I.
Yeah.
When that one came out, they came to me and asked me, they wanted samples. I had heard lots of people rap to it, but I never heard a record. Even though Sugar Hill Gang had did one, I hadn't heard it yet.
Yeah.
But when De La Soul was the first one I actually heard.
Nice.
And they were the first one to pay me too.
Yeah. Well, what was do you get itemized checks that say, this is from this sample and this is from that sample?
We're beginning to now.
Yeah.
I've been fighting for years, but we're beginning to get checks from that now.
Right. So what over your career has been the sample that has like netted you the most money? Do you have any idea?
What that I got myself?
Yeah.
Would have been Me, Myself, and I.
Oh, really?
That would have been the rest of them. I didn't get. I never got paid for them till.
Oh man.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh wow.
It's just not. It's just not starting to pay off.
Okay. Well, that's good. Patience and perseverance.
Oh no, you got to have faith.
Yeah. And so all the Dr. Dre stuff, you haven't seen a penny from that either?
Oh no, we fighting right now to get paid from straight out of Compton.
Oh man. Okay. So now, with the advent of sampling, did that ever change your whole process for songwriting at all? Like, hey, here's a good groove, maybe this will be a good something somebody will sample. Did that ever enter your mind in the writing process?
Well, I actually put out a record called Sample Some of Disc and Sample Some of That.
Right.
Just for that purpose.
Right.
We still do. Matter of fact, I sample. That's something I go through the same procedure myself. I sample the songs that we made. I sample the new songs that we made.
Right. Tell me a little bit about. I mean, what we're talking about today is songwriting. So tell me about your process. You don't play an instrument, and how does are you humming? You're humming for the musicians, basically, right?
Basically, we call it head sessions.
Head stashing?
Head session.
Okay, head session.
Yeah, just hum the part to the guitar player, hum the part to the bass player, until we get a groove going, then put a melody with the keyboard player or horns.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's one way. I'm from old school, so I can actually sit down and write a song in my head first, and then have somebody arrange the whole song.
Mm-hmm.
But since today is more about hip hop, You know, I try to do what they do in whatever time period we're in.
Uh-huh. Yeah, how
You
do
know, so
do
right now, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, how does it vary from player to player? Will you be kind of a stickler for them? No, that's not the bass line I was doing. It's like this, or will you be adapting to when they play something slightly different?
Both ways. Both ways. If they can't get what I'm saying and they come up with a better lick,
Uh-huh.
I'll take that.
Yeah.
We call it close enough for funk. You know. But then sometimes I have to get one musician to interpret it for another musician what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them can hear me better than others.
Right. Right. Do you find it varies? You've been in this business for so long and collaborating with people for so long, and you work with a lot of younger players now. Like you work with Kendrick, Lamar. Did you find
Right?
working with some of the younger players, they have a different approach, or is it just basically the universal language of music that?
Basically, it's universal language of music. You know, with hip hop, you they just take whatever you do and make some out of it.
Mm-hmm.
I can just go in there and start running my mouth, and they'll be satisfied before I get started. It's they're probably easier than actually making commercials.
Right.
Commercials, they just 10 minutes, 15 minutes. That's all the time you got.
Yeah.
But hip hoppers to do it even quicker than that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just they tell me go in there and do what you do,
Right.
and
And they.
I have to, I have to figure out what do I do.
How often are you writing?
Well, I'm just getting back into it a lot lately. I put the album out. First, you got to shake the gate.
Yep.
That has got me back into the spirit that we're doing a new album right now called Medicaid Fraud Dog.
Okay.
And like I said, in the last album I had 33 songs on it. This one won't be that long,
Okay.
but it's gonna have a lot of songs on it.
Nice. Nice. And with your own contribution to writing, do you carry a notebook around with you, or do you just save it all until you're there in the session?
This phone I got in my hand right now is the best thing that could ever happen.
Yeah.
I can dic I can dictate it on there, and it can even spell the words that I can't
Uh-huh.
spell. That used to keep me from writing a lot of songs. I couldn't spell the word. But with the iPhone or with the phone, period,
Right.
you just say it and it write it down for you.
Right. Right. So when you are going back at those words, how do you preserve the melody? Do you have a recording device that you're using, or do you just look at the words and
Yeah,
know exactly?
yeah. I got a recording device on the phone. I can put it on the notes, or I can sing it.
Right. Right.
But I won't commit to a melody too quick unless it's something really special.
Uh huh.
I'll just do a basic atonal type of melody just for the line,
Right.
and then come back later on and figure out what I was thinking.
Right. Right. It's interesting having seen you play a number of times, and uh, the experience is just it's a celebratory experience. And then sometimes on record, though, there's more thoughtful, introspective works in there. I guess how are you when you're writing? Are you writing for the stage or writing for the headphones, or both?
Well, basically, you try to write for the stage, but it's pretty hard to come off, on all of the Pro Tools and the digital things. you got to do it so sterile that
Right.
you can't actually get down on tape, but you do on stage.
Right.
We've always we've always had that problem over the years, trying to do what we do on stage on record.
Uh-huh.
Pretty hard to capture.
Right. Right.
You know.
So, all right, I'm going to take a few questions now from the readers who have submitted. Alex Inquisidor Weinstein wants to know, oh, this is what I was just asking. How do you balance between lyrics that are fun and funky and lyrics with deep, meaningful messages?
I don't probably distinguish between the two. They
Yeah.
all seem funny to me, and knowing how people can take something serious and that be funny to them, or vice versa. So I'll do it either way just to be annoying sometimes.
Uh-huh.
I'll make something that sounds serious be really stupid or silly,
Right, right,
or the other way around. You know,
right,
like I was calling myself being funny when I said free your mind, your ass will follow.
right.
Then later on, I started seeing what people thought of it, and they made, oh, okay, I can see where it could be deep. But when I did it, I was just being clowning.
Uh-huh.
You know, and I would have somebody that interpreted it for me say, no, that's pretty deep.
Yeah.
And then I got to go back and act like I was deep.
Well, it's funny though. I mean, that I'm not sure I believe you that it's all silly. You know, I mean, there's like a song like Biological Speculation, which that's pretty deep, right?
Yeah, but I was being funny again. You know, we could just be a test tube, bunch of people on the planet.
Right,
You know, you know, we're biological speculation. You know, we might not be all we think we are.
right.
And I know how deep you know, the insinuation is,
Uh-huh.
but I was still trying to be silly about it.
Right. Well, what's the most serious song you've ever written?
Probably Good Thoughts, Bad Thoughts.
Yeah. And
I
how did?
read, and I read most of that somewhere, so I just like flipped the concept in my own head
Okay.
and changed, you know, words, but the thought I read somewhere in a book,
Yeah. Yeah.
you
What?
know, but I was really seriously trying to say that our minds are messed up,
Uh-huh.
and we're trying to straighten things out with our brain, and that's messed up.
Right.
So until we get that fixed, you know, we won't be able to straighten nothing else out.
Right.
But I really was in my peace and love days then.
Uh-huh.
Probably some good acid.
What song would you say like you want people to remember you most by and quote the most? Would it be Good Thoughts, Bad Thoughts?
Or if you don't like the effect, don't produce the cause.
Yeah. Yeah. Like what line from that in particular would you want people to, you know, to see on a quote, to see in a book of
You
quotations?
you say you don't like where you're at, but you can make a change if you accept the blame. Stay in control of your reactions. It will determine the effect of any situation. You have the power to negate any ulcer causing feeling that prohibits you to think.
That's
If you
great.
don't like that one right there, I was
Yeah.
kind of proud of that.
Yeah. That is good. Again, it seems a little bit more meaningful than the goofing around thing that you were talking about.
But again, like I said, I try to be sarcastic about it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I still try to do it where it's funny.
Mm-hmm. Very good. So we're about at the halfway point, which is where we do a segment that's called Stuck in the Middle. So do you have a song that you're working on right now that you can't figure out where to go with it?
Oh man. One Sly Stone gave me a concept, and I can't. He said I called him up, and he was supposed to have been sick. I said, "Man, you sound good." He said, "Only you can hear the high in my hello." And I told him, I said, "If you don't write that song in a week or two, I'm gonna write it."
Yeah.
But I hold on.
Right.
I said the line. I said the line in a song, but I never tried to write the song about that.
Uh-huh. Now, have you ever tried to bring that to collaborators and say, like, all right, come on, let's do this?
Oh, I have done that, yes.
Yeah, but with that one, it's just not taking yet.
No, I haven't done it with that one yet.
Oh, okay, okay. Very good.
I probably got a couple other ones like that.
Yeah.
Like you say, stuck. Yeah.
Yep, yep. So here's a question. This is from Phil Strack, and he just, it's a great question. He's just basically paraphrasing the title of your book. And so, George, ain't that funkin' kind of hard on you? That's his question.
But no, it's not. Like I said, I was hard when I started. I'll be hard when I get through. But
Yeah.
if you like what you're doing, it ain't work anyway.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I actually have fun doing what I do. So no, it ain't hard.
Good, good. Here's one coming from Billy Z. Other than sex, drugs, and rock and roll, what inspires you?
Ain't shit else left.
What?
I say, ain't nothing left.
Oh.
No, I'm just joking. But you know, when you get 76 years old, kids, grandkids, great grandkids, stuff like that start to inspire you if you haven't been inspired by it before then.
Uh-huh.
But that started looking appealing all of a sudden.
Yeah.
You know, playing with the kids and shit like that.
Yeah. You have great grandchildren, right?
Yes, I got on the road right now.
Yeah. That's great. Yeah, I saw when I last saw you perform. I think your grandson was doing some rhymes, right?
3 grandsons, 3 granddaughters, and a daughter and a son.
Yeah. And are they all involved?
Yes, they're all on stage right now.
Oh, that's awesome. That's great.
That's who you saw.
Yeah. Yeah, I bet when you first started out, did you have any inclination that you'd be doing it as long enough to have grandchildren on stage with you?
No, I never thought of it like that.
Yeah.
But I also never thought I'd quit either.
Yeah, that's great. Here's a question from Black on Black. How do you challenge yourself as a seasoned artist? What is the next level? What do you graduate to?
The new artist that sound like he's kicking my ass.
Yeah.
As soon as I hear somebody doing something I wish I had done, I'm like the energizing bunny. I start all over again and say I ain't did shit.
Yeah. That must be really gratifying, though, to continue to be asked by people like Kendrick, Lamar, who are at the top of the game, to collaborate.
That's what's inspiring about it.
Yeah.
When you hear somebody like that paying attention to you, you really want to get back in the game.
Right, right. Here's a question from Janice Hazel. What was your inspiration to incorporate the soul gospel sounds of Philippe Wynne on Not Just Knee Deep?
Oh, on that one, Felipe just happened to be in there that day.
Oh, really?
He just happened to be sitting there. He had wrote his verse up while we was doing the record. We was finished.
Uh-huh.
He said, Bub, sounds great, but one thing missing. I said, what? He said, me. I said, well, go on in there. And he did just what he did on the record.
Wow.
And you say that was Janice Hazel. She wrote that.
Yep.
Tell her, and her cousin too.
Okay.
He was also.
Oh wow! I didn't even realize that this person's related to Eddie Hazel.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Okay, this is from Kim Ward. In your autobiography, you wrote about the risks of political songwriting. A lot has changed in the music industry since the release of Cosmic Slop. Do you think that artists are now able to express themselves more freely?
Well, like Kendrick Lamar said, if you're under 30, he said he got that from Tupac. And for real, that's the way it is. You couldn't probably do stuff like America Eats Its Young or nothing like that. But they do a lot of stuff that you couldn't have done back then either. Mm-hmm. Like Public Enemy. You can't do what they did no more either. But right. you can do what Kendrick did or what Jay-Z just did, which is one of the most spectacular albums I heard in a long time.
Yeah, that 444?
Yes, God.
Yeah.
I mean, he really peed on that one. And he's my man, but he wasn't up my top of the list.
Yeah.
But he busted in up there this time.
That's great.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Here's one from Sargam Sundrani. How do you recompose a melody, as in what is already out there? How do you make changes and make it your own?
Well, it's called your interpretation.
Mm-hmm.
You can't own the song if you just reinterpret it. You can do your version of it and make it yours, which is what covering songs are about.
Right.
You just have to do a good job and be a stylist.
Right.
Aretha Franklin is real good at that.
Yeah.
She'll take somebody's song and you swear you never heard it before.
Right. Yeah, you mentioned being a stylist, and I know that's how you started out in styling hair. Is there any overlap there with that sort of creativity? Like, do you,
Yeah, the concept of doing hair put me in touch with the concept of Sir Nose. A cool cat so cool he can't get his hair wet.
Right.
Who can't have no fun. When I use that imagery and that whole concept for a lot of the parliaments, supposed to be cool songs.
Right.
Like Make My Funk the P-Funk. That was dope talk in the barbershop.
Right.
So yeah, I use a lot of the barbershop.
That's great.
And not only that, but in my appearance.
Uh-huh.
A lot of it was anti-cool. A lot of it was cool.
Right.
Funkadelic, we tried to be as dirty as we possibly could be.
Uh-huh.
Diapers and that kind of thing.
Yeah. That's great. So here's a question coming from Bennett Varsho, and he sent along a video actually of him giving $10 to a guitarist who was standing on the street busking to play Maggot Brain, and the guy did it. But anyway, his question is, in Cleveland, you kept the crowd going for 20 minutes after they pulled the plug. What is the longest you've done that for?
Ooh, about 20 minutes, and they turned the electricity back on.
Yeah.
we did it in Philadelphia. We did it in Philadelphia about 20 to 30 minutes, and people wouldn't stop. So we just banged on and kept singing.
Great. Here's a question from Steven Zakos. Being one of my biggest inspirations, I've always wanted to ask what advice you could give to an aspiring funk drummer.
Keep it on the one.
Yeah?
Keep it on the one. But the only thing I can say to anybody aspiring to do anything really is do the best you can and then funk it.
Yeah. Yeah, there's somebody else asked a question earlier, where was it? With the funk, as far as the funk, like where do you reach for the funk from? Like when you say and funk it, like where is that metaphysical place?
Just let go. Like they use the fourth loop. Just let go and jam. Let go and jam.
Nice.
Nice. And just settle back. Don't try to show off. Just get in the pocket with everybody and jam. Funk will take over itself.
Very good. Let's see. Here's another question from. This one's from Dwan Brown. Are we ever going to see all of the living members on stage again? All the Funkadelic and Parliament all-stars who are still alive and not playing again?
I'm sure you will. I'm sure that happens every now and then, but everybody got their own things. But a lot of them are not here with us anymore.
Right.
But like you say, the remaining ones, we come together every now and then.
Here's one from Carlton Solomon. Who, in your opinion, is really bringing the funk today? Well, I think you answered that with Kendrick and Jay-Z, but is there anybody who, outside of the hip-hop scope and just straight-up funk, who's doing that?
Well, I guess you would call Flying Lotus, Thundercat. That crew is, they're jazzy, but they got like the precious funk.
Yeah.
Thing, because they mix it with the DJ scene, and so you got the best of both worlds, a band and a DJ.
Mm-hmm.
They had a lot to do with Kendrick's album.
Yeah. Yeah. As far as you're currently in that movie that Flying Lotus has done, are you hearing a lot of feedback about that?
Don't watch it while you're eating.
Right, that's what everybody says. Did he have to ask you twice to be in that, or were you right away?
Well, no, it's funny because he, like I'm always talking about, got that doo-doo, got that shit, Pro Mentors, the doo-doo chasers, the band. So I'm familiar with the concept.
Yep. So
shit.
You were on board. You were on board right away then.
Yeah, but hell yeah, alien coming out my ass. Yeah, I can go for it.
Is there ever anything that you are asked to do collaborative-wise that you just wouldn't do?
Oh, there's a few of those.
Yeah.
I don't even want to talk about it.
All right, here's another question. Well, moving on then. Here's another question from Jason Landry. Having worked in the music industry for quite some time, is there something you wish you learned early on in terms of music education that you could have helped you today?
Oh shit! The drug. Oh.
The drugs what? We might have lost them. Should we try and call back? Anyway, so George is traveling through Palm Springs, California right now. on his way to a gig in Arizona tonight. And
are you there?
I hear you again. Okay, so the one thing you wish you learned.
Okay, there we are. Yeah, can you hear me?
I can. Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. But you cut off. You were saying the one thing you wish you learned.
The drugs didn't work after the first time or two.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. Well, I see we're wrapping up. I have one question for you. Can you tell me why for the past 30 years or so, I get flashlight in my head every night, once a week when I'm taking the garbage to the curb?
Still cut off.
So, did you hear that?
No, I just heard that. Did you hear that? That's the first thing I heard.
Oh, okay. So I have in the spirit of the less serious things, I have a silly question to ask of you to end the interview.
What's that?
Okay, can you guess why once a week for the past 20, 30 years or so, I get flashlight in my head when I'm taking the garbage to the curb?
Flashlight?
Yeah.
Damn, I don't know what that was. I don't know. I can't answer that one.
Well, it's trash night.
Oh, it's trash night. Oh,
yeah. Anyway, so
that's pretty funny. Trash night.
Every week, without fail, it's garbage night, and it's like trash night.
I had to do something like that on the Muppets.
Yeah.
I did it with Gonzo.
Yeah, what did you and Gonzo do?
It was a flash something. I mean, it was something like, I forgot what it was.
Okay.
I got to look it up again.
Yeah, we'll look that up. Well, George, thank you so much for your time, and keep on keeping on, and thank you so much.
Roof. Take care. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. All right, thank you all very much for tuning in, and a special thank you going out to Chrissy Walter, Josh Chagani, Jesse Burkowski, Kaylee Kravitz, Tim Scholl, Jana Jackson, Mike King, Debbie Cavalier, everybody at Berklee Online, really, and Benji Rogers, and George Clinton himself. Be sure to tune in on the 11th of September. We will be online live with Josh Ritter. Thank you very much.